Brewing around the realm. I am Dave, your amateur brewmaster, and tonight I'm talking double IPAs. I got a brand new double IPA recipe that I've put together special for this episode, and I'm using 4 of the trendier hops that I picked up in the Tavour box that I purchased earlier in the summer. I have Citra, Simcoe, Ekuanot, and Centennial. Mix those all into a nice double IPA. Let's go back and take a look at the brew day for that. I'll come back afterwards, give you the blow-by-blow details of what happened. Today's ingredients are 13 pounds of two-row, 1 pound of white wheat, and 1 pound of Victory. And we're going to put 14 ounces of hops in today's mix. We got Simcoe, Ekuanot, Citra, Centennial. I'm going to put some corn sugar, a pound of corn sugar in this at the end. I've got a 10 milliliter hop shot, which is our bittering agent for today, baking soda, which is going in the mash, yeast nutrient, gypsum, and whirlflock. That's everything that's going in today's beer. Today we're using 15 quarts of water for our mash because we've got 15 pounds of grain, and I know that that is a really thick mash, but it's what I can put in here. So I'll just dump all this in. The ambient grain temperature was 70.5. That makes today's mash temperature 168. And our target temperature for the mash today is 150. It's going to be a very full container today. The mash tun is going to be pushed to the limit. That was a 75-minute mash time. I got about 2.5 gallons out of that. I'm going to sparge here with 3 gallons, or as much as will fit in here, of 170 degree sparge water. And I have to do this twice because I need to get probably about 7 gallons for boil today. With 15 pounds of grain, it took 3 sparges to get up to full volume today. And I've got a teaspoon and a half of gypsum I'm going to throw in here. This is just getting up to a boil. And here is our hop shot. So in goes all of this. And let's see if we can rinse some more of that out of there. Alright, looks good. This is a 75-minute boil today. And there really aren't any other additions to this until we get really close to the end. So I'll be back when we have 15 minutes left in order to add the corn sugar and the whirlflock and the yeast nutrient. A lot of things going on with 15 minutes left. Get the wort chiller in. And there's a pound of corn sugar. Whirlflock and yeast nutrient going in. Next addition is at 5 minutes, and then I'm going to do a whirlpool. 5 minutes left. In goes our 1 ounce of Citra, 1 ounce of Simcoe, 1 ounce of Ekuanot, and 1 ounce of Centennial. I have the wort chiller going, and I'm going to take this down to 180 degrees, and I'm going to do a 30-minute hop stand. 177.9 there, so I'm going to put in the other ounce of Citra, Simcoe, Ekuanot, and Centennial, and then I will leave this sit for half an hour before I continue to chill this. I made a yeast starter for the first time. I made this a couple of days ago, and then cold crashed it overnight last night. Last night what I did, so that I could save some of this, I took some of the yeast, put it into this pint jar, and it settled off to the bottom. You can see, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see the yeast settle to the bottom. So now I have yeast that I can use next time. This is actually WLP095 Burlington Ale yeast. First time I'm using this, but I'm going to decant this now while I'm waiting, and I thought everybody'd like to see that. You can see I decanted the liquid out of that, and all the yeast's off the bottom, but I've got this now, and I will have a much faster start to the fermentation, hopefully with this, and I think this is what I'm going to be doing from now on. Here's what everything looks like at the end of the hop stand. Give this a good mix. I've kept this at 180, and this is mostly for flavor and aroma, if I understand that correctly, but I'm going to turn the wort chiller back on and finish chilling this down. I got the wort into the fermenter, but the final gravity was too low. It was only 1066, and it was supposed to be 1076. So I added an extra pound of corn sugar. I used the extra wort I had left over that I had boiled from the third sparge to add the extra pound of corn sugar in here. So there are actually 2 pounds of corn sugar in here. The efficiency of my mash, because of the size of the mash tun and that I didn't have enough volume in there, it was just too low. But anyways, I got it in here. The final gravity came up with the extra pound of corn sugar, came out at 1072. So that worked out just about right. Our target gravity was 1076, so that was pretty good. I've got the yeast here. I'm going to pitch this in. Swirl this up, make sure we got everything going. Alright, we're good to go. Get the lid on there. So let's go back to the future and see how this came out. As you saw in that video, I had some issues with that brew day. I had a lot of issues with efficiency. I pushed my 5-gallon mash tun to its absolute limit, and that caused those problems with the efficiency. I had originally only intended to put 1 pound of corn sugar into that. I ended up having to put 2 pounds of corn sugar into that to meet my target numbers for that. But in the end, it actually came out really well. I'm really happy with this. Let me get this out of the bottle. This was brewed on July 14th of 2018, bottled on the 23rd of July, and as I'm sitting right here, it is the end of August. It's actually August 30th when I'm doing this video. You can see this has a medium to low head on it. I really had an issue with this beer carbonating. It just did not want to carbonate. This is the final beer that I bottled that gave me a problem that pushed me into kegging. I have one more beer coming up that's in bottles, and then after that it's all going to be in kegs. Let me give you a smell, and it's piney, a little bit of citrus. There's just not a lot of aroma coming off of this because it did not carbonate very well. Let me give you a taste. And it's a really good beer. I really like it. That hop shot really had a nice bitterness to it, and I'm glad I did that. That saved me some on filtering. When I filtered out all the hops, it really worked out well. I did double dry hop this. It got an ounce each of Ekuanot, Simcoe, and Citra 2 days after it went into the fermenter. And then 2 days after that, I hit it with another ounce each of those 3 hops. And I really think that worked out really nicely. I couldn't have expected more. You probably can't really see that. It's a nice medium color. This came out at about a 9 on the SRM, and it is very clear. I did thin this with gelatin to clear it up a little bit, and overall I'm very happy with this. I'm going to use this recipe again next time I do a double IPA, because I just recently purchased a 10-gallon cooler to use for a mash tun. I'm going to be able to up the amount of grain and hopefully keep my efficiency up so that I don't have to add quite so much corn sugar into this. And maybe there's a way I can get that up so that I don't have to add corn sugar at all, but I do like the after effects of the corn sugar where it dries the beer out. This is a really dry beer. It's actually really good. So I'm going to brew this one again. I would definitely give this a 4.5. This is probably my favorite IPA that I've made recently. And definitely go to the website, go over to brewingaroundtherealm.com, download the XML file on the story for this beer. There's a link in the description for the video. You can get that and import that directly into Beersmith and give it a try all for yourself. I did update that recipe to account for the 2 pounds corn sugar I put into the mix. So, yeah, I'm very happy with this. Remember, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate that. The more thumbs up I get, the more the algorithm on YouTube will share this video to others, and I greatly appreciate that. If you can, share this video to others and let them know about Brewing Around the Realm. If you have suggestions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. That's greatly appreciated. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Until next time, happy brewing!